That's the httpd.conf file. And there's two places that we need to make sure. Apache 2.2 now requires that you do an add type. So I'll just show you where that's at real quick. And sudo vim. Vim is a command line text editor, and I'm sudoing it because to get the proper permission to make changes there. And I'm going to go direct, since I know where the line is at, I'm going to go directly to that line by specifying that. So right here you have a if module my module context, and right here, well, this is interesting. You have to fix this because I installed that twice. So
well, we don't actually look for that line first. So yeah, we gotta.
Right. So I'm going to delete one of those, and here's where you would add your new suffix. That's one place. So this tells the Apache basically what kind of file this is. In this case, it's a text HTML file, so it's going to treat it like an HTML file, anything with this suffix. And then we have to tell the Apache config that this file is to be mapped to WebDNA. At the bottom we have included, this is the other part of the http .config that is edited by the installer, and we're going to have to fix that so that it doesn't create two lines when you reinstall. So, so this is the other line right here that gets added to the httpd.conf file, and that points to this WebDNA conf file. This is where, inside this WebDNA conf file is where you need to add, so there's actually three places: the http.conf file, the administration pages, and then this WebDNA conf file, which I'll go to now. I'm going to actually save these changes.
So the first preference in the web page that we set, it just tells WebDNA whether it should process WebDNA syntax on pages of any type or of certain types, and we want that to be one of the certain types. Then we have to tell Apache what that type is. Is it a movie file, or what is it? In this case, it's text HTML. And now we have to tell the web server that we need it processed by our CGI, which is web catalog.
Yeah. So inside the, I did a present working directory here, and inside that directory, well, I should say we're in the library, web servers, CGI executables, web catalog engine, and inside that directory we have the WebDNA conf file. So I need to edit this conf file.
You can get to and edit these files using BBEdit. You have to do an open hidden though. By default, the Mac OS doesn't display the Unix standard file directories like etc and user and bin. But you can open those by doing open hidden and then using standard Unix syntax to navigate to those.
All right. So I just scrolled all the way down. Oh, to insert in VIM, you hit just the character I on the keyboard, and it brings up this, tells you that you're in insert mode, and I scroll down to the end of this line, or arrow, I should say, down to this line. Enter the new suffix that you'd like to be mapped to WebDNA, and hit the escape key to get out of edit mode. Then hit the colon key to get to the command line within VIM, and right quit, exclamation point, and then there you have it. So if you look at the WebDNA conf file now, at the end it contains the new suffix. So alright, so now we can create any HTML pages that we want that are named some name.new suffix, and they'll be able to parse WebDNA. All right, so let's move on here. This is for if you have one of the editions that uses the excuse me, the commerce tags. You want to put in a price change password there so that you can edit the cart with the password. We'll go over that, go over the commerce tags later on in this tutorial. I'll take a drink of, get that frog out of my throat. And permission, default permission settings. And then finally some troubleshooting components. If you're having problems with your server, there's a few tools that WebDNA provides to help you troubleshoot. The first one's log error messages. Every time the WebDNA error messages database is enacted, if this is turned on, it will spit out a text file called errorlog.txt that you can look in to help you troubleshoot things. If WebDNA is crashing, you can turn this on to try to catch the trace route on the signal there. That's pretty helpful at times. And then the last thing is technical support information. This will record a lot of stuff, and it can be helpful in troubleshooting as well. All these things you probably want to normally leave off on a working system just because they can build files pretty fast, especially, well, any one of these can. And I mean, once you get past a couple gigabytes, most servers will start having problems with files of that size. So it's good to keep those off or to monitor the files if you have them on. All right, so that's the Preferences file, or Preferences tab. Security. This is where you'll probably want to go to Security right after installing WebDNA, just to change that default admin password. And you do that, click on Security, and then Show All Users. You can see right here, scoot some of these frames over a little bit. You can see right here, here's the only user that's entered so far. It's the admin. It's sort of the god of the WebDNA settings, and you can set that password right away. I'm going to leave ours to admin just because this is a development machine. Or you can create new users that have admin access or any type of group that you want, and these work directly with some of the tags provided in WebDNA, such as protect and authenticate. Let's see, order file security. This is a newer feature that we're just getting to documenting right now, but it's basically adding the ability to encrypt some of the more sensitive information that can be recorded in the order file. ISP sandbox. The sandbox is a unique feature that allows you to sort of separate content, maybe more specific to an ISP who might have 100 websites on their server, and maybe a client of theirs might have 20 websites, and by giving them an ISP sandbox, that client can then have access to a lot of these same preferences that you see in the master preferences, which is this area. That way, this client can set specific things like the password change for the commerce features, or certain suffixes, or some of their own specific